All right, now to the NFL, where QB1 status has been wrapped up in the Vegas desert. Antonio Pierce announcing today that Gardner Minshew will be the Raiders starting quarterback, beating out Aiden O'Connell for the top spot on the depth chart. He's on his fourth NFL team now, signed a 2-year deal with Vegas back in March, and a deal that included $15 million guaranteed. So, Antonio, what sold you?
Experience, the operation, the processing, just everything we saw in practice. Some of it showed up in the games. A lot of stuff we can get better at. I don't think anything here is a finished product, but based off of where we want to go in the first quarter of the season, we feel like Gardner gives us the best opportunity.
All right, now bring in ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck, and all due respect to the quarterback room there in Las Vegas, I know the Raiders probably thought they'd have maybe one or two other guys in that mix to try to be the starter, but as it stands right now, it is Gardner Minshew. So with that said, Tim, what does he bring to this Raiders offense?
Yeah. Well, Michael, I think you're exactly right. There's no way the Raiders thought that they were going to go into the draft and not leave with a quarterback. But that's what happened, and it left them with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell as their choices to be their starter. Okay, and I think the decision, Antonio Pierce just said it, the decision is the experience. He's got nearly 40 starts in the National Football League. And then I think in terms of the decision-making and processing, look, he's a good passer. His limitations really are physical, not necessarily, mental. And so I think in terms of the beginning of the season, who gives the Raiders their best chance to win early on, I think that it's Gardner Minshew. That's what Antonio Pierce is saying. But I also think what he's saying there when he's talking about neither guy being a finished product, I think he's also saying this isn't set in stone for the entire season, and I think it'll probably play out that way.
All right, let's go across the coast, though. Now, in Pittsburgh, the Steelers have yet to name a starter. Mike Tomlin has said, though, that Russell Wilson has pole position. Based on what we've seen so far, how would you evaluate both of these QBs to this point in the preseason?
I don't know how he's held on to that pole position because he really hasn't done much. And I would just say this. When you look at how these guys have played, neither one of them has lit things on fire. At the same time, you've seen elements from Justin Fields about what he can do as a runner. He's a big physical guy, and when things, aren't as they're designed, he has the ability to make plays. And I think when you look at just where they are in their careers, look, Russell Wilson is a decade older than Justin Fields. Justin Fields has an opportunity, if he plays well, to be the future at the position for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, this to me, tie goes to the younger guy. If it were me making the decision, I just feel like Justin Fields gives them way more upside. And really the downside of it, I really can't find based on what we've seen in recent years from Russell Wilson.
So you don't think that the experience of Russell Wilson should weigh more heavily in this situation?
I don't, because I don't think it's manifesting into better decisions or, more consistency on offense. If it were, then you take the experience. Much like the Raiders situation. I think the experience has given Antonio Pierce the confidence to make better decisions, have more consistent play. That hasn't shown itself in Pittsburgh, and that's why, I think Mike Tomlin saying he's got the pole position, he hasn't come out and named him the starter yet either.
Yeah, clearly he wants one guy to step up and be clear, and that hasn't happened so far. Still another preseason game to go there for the Steelers. Tim Hasselbeck here on SportsCenter. Appreciate you.